Hello, and welcome to the program Speak Up with Morella from Mental Wellness TV. Today, we welcome you to a heartfelt conversation about a subject that touches the deepest parts of our humanity and directly connects with our mental well-being: how forgiveness heals us, and how we can learn to integrate forgiveness into our lives as a tool for greater resilience, balance, and harmony. We are grateful that you are with us today, because together, we will explore not only what forgiveness means, but also how it transforms our inner world, our relationships, and our path to emotional wellness. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood yet essential practices in mental health. When we talk about forgiveness, many of us immediately think of condoning harmful behavior or letting someone off the hook. But forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing. It is about freeing ourselves from the heavy emotional burden of anger, resentment, and bitterness that weigh down our hearts and minds. Studies show that people who practice forgiveness experience lower levels of depression and anxiety, stronger immune function, and greater overall life satisfaction. In fact, research from the American Psychological Association has consistently highlighted forgiveness as a core factor in emotional healing and mental health resilience. As human beings, we inevitably encounter hurt, whether through betrayal, loss, or disappointment. Holding on to the pain may feel protective at first, but over time it drains our energy, keeps us tied to the past, and blocks our capacity for joy. In the United States, surveys reveal that nearly 60% of adults report having at least one relationship marked by unresolved resentment. This unresolved tension does not remain isolated. It spills into our mood, our physical health, our ability to trust, and even our sleep. When we carry unforgiveness, we carry stress, and chronic stress is linked to everything from heart disease to weakened immunity. So how do we shift? The first step is understanding that forgiveness is not a one-time decision, but a process. It begins with acknowledging the pain, not denying it. We need to validate our own hurt before we can let go of it. We then choose, often in small steps, to release the hold that anger has on us. There are practical tools we can use. Journaling is one of the simplest. When we write down our feelings toward the person or event that hurt us, we create space between ourselves and the raw emotion. In therapy, journaling has been shown to reduce rumination and open the door to reframing our experiences. Another strategy is practicing empathy, not excusing harmful behavior, but reminding ourselves that those who hurt us are also shaped by pain, limitations, or ignorance. This perspective can soften the edge of resentment and allow compassion to enter. Mindfulness and breathing exercises also help, grounding us in the present and loosening the grip of past hurt. This does not mean reconciliation is always possible or even healthy. Sometimes forgiveness is a private act within our hearts. But by choosing forgiveness, we reclaim our power. Instead of letting the wound define us, we let healing redefine us. Forgiveness also involves self-forgiveness, which is often harder than forgiving others. Many of us carry guilt or shame for choices we made, words we said, or paths we didn't take. Self-forgiveness is essential for mental wellness, because when we constantly replay our own mistakes, we trap ourselves in a cycle of self-criticism. Cognitive behavioral therapy studies show that self-forgiveness practices reduce depression and increase motivation for positive change. Self-forgiveness does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means owning what happened, learning from it, and allowing ourselves to move forward with kindness rather than self-punishment. In our daily lives, we can begin integrating forgiveness in small but meaningful ways. Start each morning with a short reflection. Is there someone I am still holding anger toward? Is there something about myself I haven't yet released? Naming these quietly, without judgment, helps bring awareness. During conflicts, we can pause before reacting and ask ourselves, will holding on to this anger serve me, or will letting go create peace? We can also create rituals of forgiveness, writing a letter that we never send, symbolically releasing it, or practicing a guided meditation on compassion. These actions may seem simple, but over time they build the muscle of forgiveness and shift our internal landscape. Scientific research supports the power of these practices. A well-known study conducted at Stanford University showed that people who went through a structured forgiveness program reported significant decreases in anger, anxiety, and depression, along with increases in hope and self-esteem. Neuroscience research also reveals that forgiveness reduces activity in brain regions associated with rumination and threat, while increasing activity in areas tied to empathy and problem-solving. In other words, when we forgive, our brains literally rewire toward healthier patterns. But beyond science, forgiveness is deeply human. We all know the weight of grudges and the relief of release. Think of the last time you let go of a resentment. It felt like a burden lifted, didn't it? Forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength. It requires courage to confront pain, humility to accept our own flaws, and compassion to see others as imperfect beings like ourselves. In relationships, forgiveness builds resilience. Couples who learn to forgive navigate conflicts more successfully. Families who practice forgiveness create bonds of trust that endure. Communities that embrace forgiveness heal divisions and create stronger social connections. Of course, forgiveness is not easy, especially in the face of deep wounds. There are times when the hurt is profound: abuse, betrayal, abandonment. In these cases, forgiveness may take years, and it should never be rushed or forced. Therapy can be an invaluable support here, providing a safe space to process emotions and guiding us through the layers of grief and anger. Sometimes forgiveness comes in waves. We think we've let go, only to feel the sting resurface. This is normal. Each wave is part of the process, and with patience, the intensity lessens. Let us also remember that forgiveness is not only personal, it can be collective. In American society, conversations about justice, reconciliation, and healing from historical traumas often center on forgiveness as part of a broader journey. Community programs that integrate forgiveness practices show reductions in violence and improvements in mental health. When we forgive collectively, we create cultures of empathy that ripple outward, shaping how we live and connect as a nation. In our everyday lives, forgiveness can become a habit if we practice it intentionally. For example, the next time someone cuts us off in traffic, instead of holding on to the irritation, we can practice releasing it quickly. When a friend forgets to call back, instead of assuming neglect, we can assume good intent. These small acts train our brains to lean toward compassion instead of resentment. Over time, this orientation creates a lighter, more resilient inner world. So today, as we reflect together, let us remember: forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. It is not about the other person deserving it. It is about us deserving peace. When we forgive, we unclench our fists, we soften our hearts, and we make space for joy, love, and connection to re-enter our lives. Here are some gentle practices we can start applying today. Each evening, take 5 minutes to breathe and recall one person or situation that caused you discomfort. Ask yourself, can I release just a little of this weight tonight? Even if it is only 1%, that is progress. Try writing down 3 qualities you appreciate about yourself, especially if you have been hard on yourself. If a relationship feels strained, consider sending a simple, kind message, not to erase the past, but to open the door to new possibilities. Small steps taken consistently build powerful change. The path of forgiveness is not linear. Some days it will feel easier, others harder. But every attempt matters. Every time we choose release over resentment, we reinforce a healthier pathway in our minds and hearts. We are not striving for perfection. We are striving for freedom. As we move toward closing, let us carry with us the reminder that forgiveness is a form of self-care. Just as we nurture our bodies with food and rest, we nurture our souls by releasing what no longer serves us. Forgiveness is not a luxury. It is a necessity for mental wellness, emotional balance, and spiritual growth. Here we come to the close of today's presentation. We invite you to share with us the topics that matter most to you, the struggles you face, and the questions you hold. Your voice helps shape the conversations we bring to this program, and the subjects you ask for will be covered in future episodes. Stay with us every day for a new dose of strength, joy, and inner balance. And we warmly invite you to visit our website and explore the specialized collections we have prepared, each one designed to support different aspects of your mental and emotional wellness. Until next time, we invite one another to take care of each other, but above all, to take care of ourselves. Be well, always.